What up? This time I will be breaking down J Dilla's chop of the song Tempos Feliz by Pat Metheny and Gary Burton. This is another J Dilla beat that is not on the usual 4/4 pattern, but I'll talk more about that later. What I do want to talk about is that I've been learning Ableton. It is way better for a few things like sampling, but the piano roll and sequencer on FL are still unmatched. So I don't know what I'll be doing. I might end up using both at the same time in the future, because I guess that is possible. Now to the beat. The beat is in 91.5 or 183 BPM, while the sample is around 135, 136 BPM. Therefore, some warping will be needed. Okay, so how do I do this whole process in Ableton? I already know that I'll need to do some stretching, so I enable warping and now I can mess with the sample's pitch and time. But first, I need to find the section that needs to be chopped. Since Dilla's beat is in 3/4 instead of the usual 4/4 pattern, I took a 3-bar loop to do the stretching and pitching. He looped this sample in a weird way. As you probably noticed, the sample didn't loop. But knowing the section he used for the downbeats, I can easily stretch and rearrange the sample to make it loop. Before finishing the loop arrangement, let's pitch the sample to the key of the beat. The key of the beat is E major, while the beat is in B flat major, so I pitched the sample down 6 semitones. And I chose to use complex. Similarly to FL, Ableton has many settings for warping samples, so by trial and error, I found the one that I thought was the best for this occasion. Now back to the arrangement. Dilla uses this 3-bar loop twice, but the second time he takes 1.5 bars from the beginning of the chop out and replaces it with the ending of the chop. Then he cuts the ending short 1/2 bar and replaces it with this section that is located before the beginning of the loop. And that becomes the second section of this loop, which plays throughout this beat. The only difference is in the section where he high passes the loop. I think this video is long enough, so I'll be going in depth with the drums, but here are they. It is a 6-bar loop. Fellas, that is it for this video. In my experience, sampling in Ableton is easier than FL because of the markers I can put on the samples to stretch different parts different amounts. While in FL, I would have to make everything unique or do a bunch of stuff in Edison to make it work. So Ableton is 100% better for working with samples that are not perfectly on tempo. And before I go, I just want to remind you to subscribe to motivate me to keep making these. They are really time consuming to make, but I do like sharing my breakdown of these beats because I'll be doing them anyway as a sort of sampling practice.